Sorry, I request all to rise for the university anthem. Thank you.
Once again, I welcome everyone to the 32nd Swadeshi Science Congress and National Seminar on Transformative Science and Technology, Education for Viksit Bharat. Let's start the first session of the day by a talk by Professor N.H. Ayachit, Professor and Dean Academics, KLE Technological University. Welcome you, sir.
Good morning. This session is going to be mostly an interactive, hopefully, and I am not going to talk to the people who are in the front. know, one is that I don't know whether I'm capable to the people who are sitting in the front. Even I may not be capable of talking to you people, but we are not as smart as youngsters today. But I would like to share some of the my experience. I work with a foundation called as the International Foundation, Agastya Foundation, where we do modeling, low-cost modeling, day-to-day experience of us and convert it into an understanding of science. I thought I would share with you people, youngsters, so that how does day-to-day life experience, observations makes the learning better. I may not learn physics, but my capability to make an observation will be very, very good. One of the observations that I know, talking at the top doesn't translate into the good education or translate it to the students. We have to be at the equal level so that the resonance happens. What I talk, it makes a sense to you people, and what you say sense to me. So I would like to come inside, down, and then talk to you people. Thank you. So please, all of you have to excuse me. I will be standing here and talking to them. This session was mainly meant to talk to children. All of you are standing for anthem, no? University anthem. Had it prolonged for 5-6 minutes more, because you were standing in an attention period, your legs started to pain. Yes or no? Yes or no? Instead of that, you are allowed to stretch your leg, stand like this, in a Vishram position that we call it. How much time you would have stayed like that? Half an hour? Yes or no? So your ability to stand would have become more. Yes or no? Say yes or no. Yeah. Because, you people don't say yes or no, your teachers are very comfortable. Correct? If you start to respond to your teachers will also become better, and you people will also become better. One more thing. What is that? These examples that I gave you, one is standing in attention and standing in Vishram position. Did your body change? Body weight remained the same, no? In the first case, you started to feel pain in the leg much faster as compared to that in the second case. Correct, no? Have you thought, why does this happen? Why? Why? Paying attention. So attention comes out of pain. Pain comes out of attention. Now, I will not tell you the answer. You people need to think. What is that I want is, whatever that you undergo on an everyday life, that you need to make an observation and come with a scientific reason. If you are unable to do that, you should trouble your teachers why this is happening. So the first one is an observation. Second is trying to find a scientific. Are you getting sleepy? Early morning. Why do you feel sleepy? Not worried. Correct? Now, such lot of examples happens. We go to the villages and talk to the students. One of the questions, came from a child in a village. He stood up and asked me a question. All of you think this, what I am saying. He said, sir, my observation is, it was in Kannada, but I will be telling in English, right? When you cry, the tears come from the edge. Where do they come from? Edge. Correct? When you laugh, you get tears when you laugh also, no? Yes or no? Sometimes. but they come from the middle of the eyes. Is it true? Think over. All of you have cried and laughed, no? Yes or no? Yeah. Think for a second and say whether this statement is true or false. False? It means your observation is not correct. You have not observed it. Actually, whenever you hear after you cry and laugh, you go and see that it comes from the edges, right? When you laugh, it comes in the middle of that. You are which standards? 8th and 9th. Have you learned surface tension? Yes or no? Have you learned surface tension or no? No. Surface tension. Suppose that if I take a finger and put it in a water and raise it, what will happen? The water comes along with my finger? Some drop comes along with, yes or no? Right? There is a force between these two, that is because comes out of a surface, which is called as a surface tension. So I am not going to tell you the answers, but you should develop the capability of making in a what? Observation. Right? Everybody should know how to make a observation. There are a lot of things that happen. Correct? In everyday life it happens. In the front they have put the cushion chairs, yes or no? Have they put or no? There is a cushion for you people? No. That is more comfortable or this is more comfortable? They are more comfortable. Why? Why cushion makes comfort? Huh? It is soft. If soft, what is the ways? If it is soft, why should feel comfortable? That adjust to the surface of what? Of your body. Yes or no? If it is hard, it doesn't adjust to the surface of your body. It puts more force on your body, so you feel uncomfortable. But while the cushion chairs makes it more comfortable. Are you getting what I am saying? That makes it more comfortable. Which law it follows? You are from which standard? 11th? Right. 11th. You should answer me. Which law it follows? Have you heard Newton's third law? Yes or no? Yeah. So when you sit on a chair, if it is hard, it puts you equal and opposite force. So more force act on your body. That's why you become more uncomfortable. Correct? When it is a cushion chair, what will happen? It will adjust to the surface of your body. I will not go much detail into the technical part because I am not here to teach science. What is that I am asking you? You have to make a observation. Observations means what? Observations means what? Keeping note on the something what happens around you. Does it happen scientifically or unscientifically? It happens scientifically. That is the way you need to have to learn. Right? So every time you make an observation, you keep it in mind. You have to go to your teachers and ask a question. Ask what? A question. Why does this happen this way? Why does this happen this way? Now that is the best way of learning, right? Have you taken an oil bath today? Your head looks so small, yes or no? Suppose that if you take a shampoo bath, it looks big. Why? Have you worried ever? Have you worried? Why does it happen? His head looks big, no? His. Right? Hairs are not attached to each other. Correct? In her case, they are attached to each other because you have not put the oil. She has put the oil. Correct? Hairs are doing that. Now, you people should worry about why this is happening. You can make these observations or no? Yes or no? Yeah. So, it is important that we make an observation in a day-to-day. Can you tell me one example? You think over it. You should tell me one example which you have observed it in a day-to-day life. Yes? Make an attempt, anything. Huh?
Oil floats on water.
Oil? Floats on? Why? Oil is?
Because the oil is less denser than water.
Oil is less. There is something called density. You have the density is less than that of the density of water. That's why it floats. Anybody else? You are 11th, no? All this line is 11th standard, so you should make an observation. Anything that comes to your mind. Anything that comes to your mind which you have experienced in life. Have you? Yeah, please.
Brushing your teeth. Brushing the teeth. Brushing your teeth.
What happens?
What happens? If you don't brush it, it falls like a block.
Why?
Yes, why do the tears taste in salt? Like, you know, the water that comes from our eyes, why does it taste salty? Why is it salty?
No, whenever I said you was a surface tension, no? If the larger the surface, the tears stick up to that. And you don't want to show that you cry, isn't it?
No, I'm asking why does it taste salty?
It's,
Salty.
yeah. Because it has some salt content coming into that. You can make an analysis and understand that. Okay? Yeah. Anything? Anybody else wants to make a statement? Yeah.
If we stare at a light bulb for too long and then look somewhere else, we can see a green patch.
I am not going to tell the answer.
The light.
You can assume that I don't know about it. But, I want you to be in a habit of making a observation. Right? One more example that I tell you. Now, if you sit there straight for a long time, if you sit here for a very, very long time, your back starts to ache, no? You get a pain here? You know what is an L5 pain there? Pain in the back, isn't it? Yes or no? What you will do then? What you will do then? What you will do? You will slowly put your leg ahead. Yes or no? Take your leg back. You come in the form of an easy chair. Yes or no? Slowly it happens, no? You do it in the class. No, because your teacher scolded you. Otherwise, you would have done that. Yes or no? So, you come into a form of a easy chair. Why it is the easy chair? Easy chair, when you sit on an easy chair, also it gives you a relaxation, no? Yes or no? Exactly the same shape that you do that. Have you ever worried about this? Have you looked into this? Are you worried? I mean, have you worried means not worried in the sense that have you tried to make a scientific observation why if I stretch my leg front and go back to this, right, I become more comfortable. Anybody? Have you heard of center of mass? Yes or no? So when you sit straight, your center of mass is at the back of here. So the whole mass of the body acts at this point. And you start to feel that there is a pain here. Because all your body pain acts where? At the back. Correct now? When you stretch your leg and go back, this center of mass gets shifted to the chair. It goes out. Where does it will be on the chair? So instead of you making a sound, chair starts to make a sound. Are you getting what I'm saying? All of you have traveled by buses, no? Right? 136 degrees, when you do that, the whole mass of your body almost acts on the chair. Of course, you have a support of your back on the chair and all those things. Are you getting what I'm saying? Anybody wants to make an observation? Anybody? Any other observation? There? No. There are a lot of things happen, no? All of you have seen, all of you have gone to kitchen. Pressure cooker, food gets prepared much faster than doing it outside. Yes or no? Yes or no? These people have never gone to kitchen. Right? Have you seen a pressure cooker? Yeah. The food gets prepared, the rice preparation happens much faster in a pressure cooker as compared to that on a, when you take a pot and keep it outside. Why? You have learned this, no? PV is equal to nRT, gas equation? No. So when the pressure increases, the temperature also increase. Correct? Keeping the volume remains the same. You people have not learned this? I don't believe. You people? Have you learned it or no? Because in our state we learn it at 8th standard or 9th standard, this gas loss. Correct? Any other observation? How many of you have learned liver part test? Liver? Liver means the one which pick up fast, no? You can lift anything with a, right? You have not learned? What have you learned? Right? So I want you to tell at least one portion what you people have learning now. What is the portion for you in physics? Huh? Syllabus also you don't know. What is?
Physics.
Huh?
Physics.
Physics in that what you learn?
About sound.
Huh?
Sound, work and energy.
Work and
Energy.
energy. What
Sound.
else?
Sound.
Sound.
Then
Force. Okay, what is that I am trying to do that was to tell you that you have to make a continuous observation. Correct? So what is that you need to do? I don't know. We have got it done in a very good manner. What is that you need to do is take a notebook. Take a notebook. Whether you understand it or not, it is not important. But you want to make a observation. You try to think on your own and try to make an observation out of that. How are all of you have seen bicycle, no? At least Yes or no? Right? No. Bicycle also. Have you seen the wheels? What are there between the wheels? There is a wire-like structure, you know that? They are straight, but one wire is like this, another wire is made an angle like this. They are not all in the straight. Have you at least observed this? Right. Can anybody tell me why this happens?
Sir, actually, I would like to share one of my observation. You said that when we are sad, we cry from the edges, and when we are happy, we cry from the middle. But I have observed that when I was sad and I cried, it came from the middle. Yeah. Actually, I noticed was when I cried, when I looked in the mirror, unusually I looked beautiful. So in that way, I observed. No. When I cried, I unusually, so that's how I started to observe. Okay, so.
So, what is my request? Your teachers are also here? Where are the teachers? You. Now, you should do this exercise. Every student has to come, make a notebook, make one observation, and at least try to discuss it in a class for 5 to 10 minutes so that their scientific understanding becomes better. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the exquisite interactive session. I am sure the session has made the students more curious about the importance of observations.
Now we are heading to the next talk of the session. Let's listen to Professor S.M. Shiv Prasad, Professor and Dean, Indian Institute of Technology, Dharwad, Karnataka, on an interesting topic, AI and machine learning in education.
Speaking about Professor S.M. Shiva Prasad, Director of the Karnataka State Higher Education Academy at Dharwad and Professor, International Center for Material Science, Jawaharlal Nehru.
Hello, can you hear me now? Wonderful. Very nice to see all of you. Early in the morning with some of you beautiful smiles. Yeah, let me see. Please give the best smile. She was just telling that she looks more beautiful when she's crying. Okay, very interesting. Okay. Professor Ayachit was talking about observations, right? Observation is the most important part for anything you want to become, right? For anything you want to become, you have to be very observant. We observe several things, but several things we ignore. So his point was telling that anything you observe, you try to understand. That's what education is all about, right? So now, I want to, all of you, you have all heard of many, many scientists, right? In your life, many, many scientists you have heard. I want you to remember one scientist whom you think was the greatest, right? There are many. Just spend 2 seconds, close your eyes, and start thinking of one scientist who you think is the best for you. I'll not ask you anything. This is just for yourself. Okay? You shouldn't talk with your friends. It's your own scientist. So you have to talk to yourself, not with your friends. Yeah? Don't talk between each other. Just think about yourself, about one scientist you have in mind. Okay? Now, you keep that in mind. Because you're all interested in science. How many of you want to become engineers? Raise your hands. How many of you want to? Engineers, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, very nice. About 15 of you. And how many of you want to become doctors? Raise your hands. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Okay. How many of you want to become scientists? Raise your hands. Very few. 1 or 2 of you. Very nice. Okay, now I'll tell you something. Something very interesting, because if you're students of science, you would want to know this. You would want to know this when you make a choice of your career. For a common man, everybody is a scientist. But let me tell you, when we talk of science, we talk of different things. We talk of scientists, we talk of technologists, and we talk of engineers. You understand? They're all different. So who is a scientist? Scientist is a person, like Ayachit said, he's very curious about nature. He looks at nature and very admires nature and tries to understand nature. He asks questions about nature. You know, why is the planet moving here? Why is the plant like this? Why is my face like this? Everything he keeps asking questions. He observes and asking questions. He or she is a scientist. So what they do, they observe this, they find the pattern in that. Okay? They find some common thing in many observations. And then they say, and they bring it in the form of a principle or a law or an equation or a graph or something, which is what comes in your book, in your textbook. Right? Their observations has come into your book. Now, what you have to do is, as students, now you have to read the book and find it in nature. Right? You have to find it in nature. And that is the experience. That's where teachers help you. Right? So now, this is a scientist. So they are always asking the question, why? They're asking the question, why? For everything is asking, why? Why is it happening? Why is it here coming from here? Why is it not coming from here? Why? Etc., etc. They ask the question, why? And say they only discover things. They don't invent things. Scientists discover things. They discover nature and try to understand it. Right? And now you see, so you have these technologists now. Who are technologists? Technologists are people who keep watching what the scientists have done. That scientist has said this equation, this is what, this law, this principle. He says, I can all put this together and make a mic. I can make a pen. I can make a chair. I can make a rocket. I can make a mobile phone. Right? Putting all the ideas of the scientists together to make a product is who is a technologist. So technologists invent something. You understand? Technologists invent, scientists discover. Then the scientist, the engineer as technologist has said, oh, I can make a mic out of it. But there is somebody who has to make it, which has to work, which has to be interesting, which has to be reliable, which has to be sold in the market, etc., etc. And those people are called engineers. Right? You all understand? So you have to start thinking whether you want to become a scientist or a technologist or an engineer. There are 3 different kinds of psychology. Some of people want to become scientists because they're just curious. Somebody wants to make a product, and somebody wants to think about a new product. So these are things you should start thinking right from now. If you start thinking now, then in the next few years, you will understand what you actually want to become, which you enjoy most. Right? Now you start thinking. That scientist, you kept one name in your head, no? Start thinking whether they're a scientist or a technologist or an engineer. Right? You can readjust now. Start thinking the person you kept in your mind was a scientist or a technologist or an engineer. Who are scientists? For example, Newton or our own Aryabhatta. Right? They were scientists who were very curious to see what happens in nature. Right? And then you have Einstein. Einstein was curious to see because he learned the Newton's laws of motion, and then he found, after that the knowledge came that light travels at a very fast velocity at the speed of 3 lakhs kilometers per second. Then Einstein started thinking, how will the world look to be if I sit on that ray of light and travel at 3 lakhs kilometers per second? Right? Whether the Newton's laws will still work if I sit on the ray of light is what the question Einstein asked. Right? So these are, or Madame Curie, for example, okay, they were all curious to find out how nature works. A technologist, who is an example of a technologist? Alexander Graham Bell, right? Who found out the telephone. Or Thomas Alva Edison, who invented the bulb. these are technologies. They took the ideas, they didn't have original ideas. The original ideas of the product, but not about the phenomena, right? So those are technologies. But ultimately engineers, who are the famous engineers India has produced? Say, for example, Sir M. Vishwesharaya could be one of them, or maybe Abdul Kalam is another one. Okay, I mean, of course, there are many, several engineers here in India, right? So please understand which one you want to become. That is very important. Now, let me tell you something that I'm actually very jealous of you. You know why? Because I wanted to be born maybe 60 years later so that I would be sitting with you. Because there's a beautiful world which is coming now. An amazing world which is coming, which has never happened in the past. See, now, long ago, somebody took a stone, he used it as a tool or a weapon, and then we called that as a Stone Age. After that, there was the Iron Age, then the Ceramic Age, then the Semiconductor Age, then the Plastic Age. Now, a lot of garbage. Okay, everything is happening because of technology, right? Our whole lifestyle changes depends on technology, which influences our life. But why I said that now it is very exciting, the days are extremely exciting now because 3 amazing technologies are coming together now. 3 amazing technologies have come. They're all about 20, 25 years old, but now they're maturing into a technology. The science has been there, okay, 20, 25 years, and they are maturing. And 3 of them are together coming. And that is what is going to make the difference in the world. The world we see today will not be the same 10 or 15 years from now. It's going to be absolutely different. Everything, the way we talk, the way we do, the way we study, the way we walk, everything is going to change in the next 10, 15 years. And you are the people who are going to make it happen. You understand? You are the people who are going to make it. In the next 10, 15 years, it's your time, right? Very, very important. So what are these technologies? Let's understand what are these technologies. Can somebody tell me what are these technologies which are happening now and will make the transformation in the next 10, 15 years? Artificial intelligence, very good. And 2 more, 3 technologies, artificial intelligence, and what else? Yeah, okay. I'll classify them. You can remember them. One is nanotechnology, right? The second is biotechnology. And the third is artificial intelligence. Right now, artificial intelligence looks very big. But let me tell you, nanotechnology and biotechnology are much bigger. They are going to come in a very big way in this world, right? So we need to get ready for this change. Now, the combination of these 3, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence, is really, really going to transform this society, right? So let's talk. So let's start with some examples of how these are going to change. About last year, I was in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, after my laboratory, one of my friends, Richard Demin, wanted me to come to his house for dinner. So I asked my host, said, please get me a taxi, I want to go to his house. So he asked me, do you want to try an autonomous taxi, a driverless taxi? I was so happy because we had only heard about it, but I wanted to experience it now. So I said, yes, I would like to go in this autonomous taxi, right? And then he brought a car there, and I went into the car and sat. Okay, there was no driver, and the machine asked me, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to Richard Demin's house. And then it brought 8 Richard Demin's faces on the screen, and he said, which Richard Demin? The Richard Demin I identified and poked his face. And then it said, this Richard Demin, it will take 42 minutes for you to go there, right? So he said, how do you want to spend the next 42 minutes while I take you there? Right? He said that you look very old. Do you want to sleep? I'll put some music for that. Then I said, no. Then he said, I saw your biodata already, and you seem to be a scientist. So do you want to hear some science stories? I said, no. I said, put some Muhammad Rafi songs. Okay. And then in 42 minutes, it started. Until it started, it was beautiful. Right? I was enjoying because there was a driverless car. First time I'm sitting. When it started moving, dub, my heartbeat went on increasing. Who is there? There's a ghost there, booth there. Who is sitting there? And the car is moving. Where will I go? I've left my wife and children in Dharwad. What's going to happen to me, etc. But let me tell you, it took me so beautifully and left exactly in 42 minutes in that place. right? So why I'm trying to tell you is now there's a huge investment in the automobile industry, and in the next 10, 15 years, there'll be no drivers in this world. All drivers will be replaced by machines. Already about 6 or 7 countries are running taxis. Okay, many, even in Dharwad where we have the Tata Motors, they are investing hugely into autonomous drivings, etc. So that's going to transform the way we look at life. And then there is something called as blockchain technology. It's an amazing technology. Blockchain technology is called as a distributed file system. Again, one particular application of blockchain technology is that there will be no banks in this world in the next 10, 15 years. There will be no banks in this world. Anybody can make any money transaction between anybody in the world, anywhere in the world, and still the money will be very safe. The money will be very safe. Again, as you grow, you will understand what is this blockchain technology. Okay, you will understand such an amazing, powerful thing. Still money is safe. You have never met the person whom you have lent money. You don't know. You can discuss with them. And you also heard of cryptocurrency, bitcoins now? This is just the beginning of the story. Now you will have big stories when there will be no banks in this world. That means no bankers' jobs in this world. You know, you heard of 3D printers? How many of you have heard of 3D printers? Raise your hands. Wonderful. Most of you. Everybody has heard of 3D printers. 3D printers are amazing. You know, we must have seen small 3D printers. But you know, in Germany and China, they're building 5-bedroom houses by using 3D printers by only 5 people. And they do it in 5 hours. In 5 hours, they can build a house of 5-bedroom. Okay, only 5 people can build. Right? Because all the civil engineers have taught the machine how to do their job. And so the machines are now doing the job. In China, against the river Hongo, they're building a 180-meter dam using 3D printers. You know, the KRS dam in Mysore was built by Vishwesvaraya. It took 22 years to build the dam. About 28,000 people worked there. Okay, etc. Now, this dam, which is about 3 times bigger than the KRS dam, is being built in China in 6 months by only 200 people. Imagine, right? What kind of machines. So there will be no civil engineers in the world, right? Building houses, building dams, everything will be done by machines. So where will the civil engineers go is the question. Now, some time ago, I had gone to an Amazon warehouse in Noida. Noida, there's an Amazon warehouse. You know, Amazon, we send orders and it comes home, etc. And that hall was about 6 times bigger than this hall. About 5, 6 times bigger than this hall. Thousands and lakhs of things were stacked there inside that. The orders were coming at a very high rate, and the items, the articles were picked up, packed, everything, and going at the rate of 120 items per minute. 120 items per minute were going out of the warehouse. How did it happen? So you imagine how many people should be working there? I thought there should be about 200 people there to give that at that speed. But there were only 6 people working in that. You understand? Only 6 people were working in that hall, okay, and items were going at 120 items per minute. Because robots were picking up the things, conveyor belts were carrying. While it was carrying, they were scanning it, they were sticking all the addresses on them, packing, everything was done, and they were going directly into the truck. Imagine, again, how many people lose the job there? A manager, a helper, a supervisor, everybody. You don't need that kind of jobs. The workers' jobs will not be there because machines are doing. Similarly, 3D printers, warehouses, right? So now, let me tell you, about 15 days ago, I went to a doctor and I told the doctor, doctor, I have a headache, give me some medicine, right? So he was asking me, what happened to you? And then when I was telling it, he wrote a prescription saying, take this this tablet, 500 mg, 3 times a day, take this one, etc. He gave a big list and told me, if you are alive after 15 days, come back and find out. But 10 years from now, when you ask the doctor, okay, sir, I have a headache, he'll tell me, why are you telling me, go into that machine and come? And there'll be a multi-frequency scanning machine, okay, single photon computerized detection, all sorts of, with all frequencies from micrometers to meter wave frequencies, which will scan inside, outside, everywhere in your body, and it will diagnose all the diseases and tell, Shiva Prasad, you don't have only a headache, you have 42 diseases. Right? If you have 42 diseases, you already have 3 cancers, Okay, you have AIDS, you have that, you have this, it'll give. If it tells that and I hear that, obviously I'll croak, I'll die out of her. So it will not tell me. It will give that information to another machine. Now they have made something called as digital twins. With about 1.7 million information, means about 17 lakh information, they can create a physical Shiva Prasad inside the computer. Means it will behave exactly like us inside the computer. This is called as a digital twin. So that information about my disease will be given to that machine. You understand? And that will decide, okay, so what should I do with this guy? It will decide, it will diagnose the diseases, that I already diagnosed the diseases. Now it will start thinking, what should I prescribe to him? Do I prescribe surgery to him? Do I prescribe some medicine to him? Do I prescribe some exercise to him? Everything this machine decides. This machine will tell that, look, specifically for me, it will create a medicine. It will say, now we say, one of the problems of modern medicine is what? Because if there is an infection in the leg, we take antibiotics from the mouth. And that medicine, you need very little medicine at the place of infection. But for that little medicine to reach there, we have to take a lot of medicine, right? Because it travels all over the body. And only part of it, when it reaches there, it gets sorted out. But unfortunately, the other tissues which did not need this medicine will also have the medicine. And they will obviously become damaged. That's what we call as the side effects of medicine, right? So now, nanomedicines are being made. Nanomedicines mean targeted medicines are being made. They travel all over your body, but only in the place where there's infection, where it is needed, okay, they go and attach and release the medicine. And not only that, they make onions of medicines, in the sense that every 3 hours it will release, whatever you want, they are designed. These are designed medicines, which will tell you take once, for 1 month you don't have to take any medicine. Exactly at that time it will go on releasing the medicine because of the shape of the medicine. These are called as nanomedicines. Targeted medicines, nanomedicines, onion medicines. There are so many kinds of medicines which are being discovered. Okay, these are all the fields you can work when you grow up. Okay, beautiful fields are there to find this out. So now it will go and it will make a specific medicine for me, for the patient. And then it will print it and give that medicine, 3D printer, right? And then if you have surgery to be done, robotic surgery has already started, nowadays, but still the doctors are doing the robotic surgeries. But after some time, the machines will do this robotic surgery. So you start seeing, right? Start seeing that the doctors neither diagnose the disease, nor they prescribe the medicine, nor do they do surgery. So doctors' jobs are also gone. Some of you wanted to become doctors. Start thinking about it, how it will happen. Now, these 3D printers are also printing automobile parts. They're assembling them, they're printing them, many things are happening. That means automobile or mechanical engineering jobs also will be gone. Every job, what we are doing now, we have taught them to the machines, and so the machines are doing them. About 2011, December, I had a heart problem, and I was admitted in the ICU. Because I was in the ICU, now I see you, right? If I was not in the ICU, I would not have seen you, right? So I was in the ICU. In the morning, the doctor came and worked on me, right? Okay, he put a stent in me, angiography, etc. Okay, he was doing this. That day when he came to do this to me, I was so lucky that previous night he had not fought with his wife. If the doctor had fought with his wife, he would have taken the revenge on me. Not only that, his stock market money had not fallen previous night. If that had happened also, I would have been in trouble. And while he was coming to the hospital, there was no scooter guy coming in the middle or some buffalo coming in the middle. Nothing happened like that. Nothing happened. So I see you. You understand? So this is what, but if I give it to a machine, if I teach a machine how to do the surgery, okay, it doesn't have a problem, such human problems. Fifth surgery for a doctor is very tiring. They can't do the fifth surgery. But machines can do hundreds of surgeries. What is the issues for them? So we can eliminate, and they do it much, much more accurately, much, much more beautifully, etc., etc. In China, 9% of the court cases today are solved by AI. 9% of the court cases by AI. There are no judges, there are no lawyers. And India has also started investing into this from last year, right? So you see, if this becomes 50, 60%, the judges and lawyers will also lose the jobs. So let's see from the beginning who all lost the jobs. Tell me, first drivers lost the job, then doctors, then engineers, then bankers lost the job, right? So you'll start seeing a lot of this. So now, let's see what happened to your teachers. Will they lose their jobs? Okay, there will be a teacher in America, say in Harvard, amazing person with lot of knowledge, with lot of animations, with lot of energy, with all the body language, etc., which is necessary to be a good teacher. He gives a beautiful talk in Harvard, right? And he speaks it in English, right? I can hear it in Dharwad in Kannada. You can hear it in Malayalam. Okay, in Tamil Nadu you'll hear it in Tamil. In Japan you'll hear it in Nihongo. In China you'll hear it in Mandarin. Okay, every country can listen in its own job. One teacher can teach the whole world. And he comes as a 5G holographic image in your class, right? You know that now low orbit satellites are being put so that you can get excellent internet connections everywhere. If it happens, 5G can also bring holographic images. So he comes like a real life. He'll look as if he has come here. He'll walk inside your classroom and start teaching, right? So think about it. Not only that, when will he teach you, students? Whenever you want. Have your dinner, put your pajama and say, hey, come on here, teach me now. He'll teach you. How many times he'll teach you? As many times as you press the replay button. Where he'll teach you? In your study room, in your bedroom, in your garden, in your toilet, everywhere he can teach you, right? Can our teachers do that? No, right? So now you see, if this thing happens, what will happen to our teachers? They'll become extinct species sitting with the dinosaurs. Okay, there'll be stories of telling, once upon there was a school, once upon there were teachers, and now they are there, right? You see, this will happen. Not only that, now they have had personalized tutors. A small robotic teacher will come and sit on your table. Okay, it will sit and see what you are writing. And if you make a mistake, it will correct you there only. Okay, it will talk to you. You can talk to it. You can ask a question. It gives you an answer. If such teachers come, what will happen to all of us, right? We need to think about it. We'll come back, we'll later sell, but still teachers will be necessary, and I'll tell you the reason why. Now, about 2.5 years ago, one of my friends called me from America, my friend called Madan Kittur in America. He called me, and he said, a Parsha, they call me Parsha because I'm Prasad, my friends call me Parsha in Dharwad language. Alur sir can understand what I'm saying, right? Or Ayachit sir can understand. Parsha, there is something beautiful here called as ChatGPT. Start trying it. I started trying it from that day. Since then, I've become mad with ChatGPT. Every day from morning 3:30 to 5:30, I spend my time chatting with this friend, beautiful friend called as ChatGPT. Every day I take a topic and chat with him for about 2 hours. Whatever he says, I'll say, no, this is wrong. I'll say, make it simple. No, this is right. This is right. Like a friend, I talk to it. And it's also very polite. Where will I get a friend to discuss at 3:30 in the morning, tell me? And where will I get a friend who will never get angry with me, tell me? Right? And where will I get with so much knowledge, tell me? So beautiful to learn with ChatGPT. So, Dharwad is a place which is famous for poets. There are a lot of poets in Dharwad. They say if you throw a stone in Dharwad, it will hit one poet. I mean, so many poets are there. So now I asked, because anybody in Dharwad would have written some poetry somewhere or the other. Even if he tears it and puts it in the dustbin, it doesn't matter, but he would have written a poetry. He'll see one girl and write another poem, see another one and write another poem. Like that, that happens in Dharwad. So, writing. So I also asked the same thing for ChatGPT first time when it came. I asked, can you write a poem on Dharwad? Right? It wrote a beautiful 40-line poem on Dharwad with everything. I don't know, you people are not familiar. Dharwad Peda, Dharwad Bendre, Karnataka University College, Nilgiri, all Kelgiri, etc., and wrote a beautiful poem, 40-line poem on Dharwad with all the meter and the chandas which is necessary to write a poem. It wrote a poem. Then I said, hey, come on, this is too long, make it 20 lines. In another 30 seconds, it made it into 20 lines. Okay, and then I said, no, this is in English. Can you write it in Kannada? Okay, it wrote it in Kannada in another 30 seconds. And then I said, hey, it is very factual here, make it much more emotional. Then in another 30 seconds, it made it emotional. It's such a beautiful poem it wrote. Then I thought, whether poets also will lose their job in Dharwad now, right? Because it can write poetry now, right? Then it wrote such a beautiful poem, I thought, let me impress my wife, right? Because I had not impressed her for a long time. because I don't stay at home. She gets angry very frequently. So I asked her, I told about my wife and asked my chat GPT to write a poem on my wife. It wrote a very beautiful poem. Okay, and then I thought, okay, my wife will be, then I went and told her, I wrote my name in the bottom and gave it to her. Okay, she should have been very happy, no? No. She said, tell me really for whom you wrote this poem. Okay, that's what she asked me. Okay, so then I said, it's very dangerous. You can also try with the taking, but the risk is yours. Okay, so it writes beautiful poems now. Okay, now I was also at that time doing some problem in physics. I was supposed to write one program, one big code, okay, about maybe 1,500 lines code. I thought it would take about 3 to 4 months. Me and my student, we were discussing. Then I just asked ChatGPT, hey, I want to write this code. Can you write this code for me? Then it asked me back. He said, I have 10 questions for you. You answer these questions, I'll be able to write a code. Okay, I gave those 10 questions. It wrote the code within 3 minutes. Something which I have taken 3 to 4 months, it's written in 3 minutes. There are a lot of mistakes, etc. You can do that. It helped me so much in writing the code. Then I realized software engineers are also going to go home. Right?
In 1823 December, that India needs a science institution.
Roy founded Hindu College in 1870.
People must be using to create images, greeting cards, etc., etc. And then have you used something called a Soros? Soros is a software where you describe a situation. You say that this is the situation. There's a beautiful mountain, there's a river coming there, beside that there is coconut trees, it looks as beautiful as Kerala. You create the situation, it will make the situation, then you find one girl coming there, dancing, who is changing her dress every 5 seconds, etc. She comes and hugs a boy, etc., etc. You can tell this and it will make a video out of that. Okay, you just have to describe and it makes a video out of that. And why do we go for movies? Why we like movies is because there are many things which we wanted to do but we could not do in our life, or we did not have the courage. So we see it in that hero-heroine. Okay, and we get thinking that I am the hero, I am heroine. Okay, you enjoy the movies. That's why. Now you can make your own movies with your own wife's face or your neighbor's wife's face, something, and then the boy there, yourself or somebody else, you can create your own images and your own movies. When you create movies, who will go to movies? So that means film actors were also going to lose the job. Right? Movies will also not be there in this world. So you start saying everybody can lose the job. How many of you have heard of the name Elon Musk? Wonderful. Everybody has heard, naturally. If some of you have not heard, then it is no meaning in living in this world. Okay, Elon Musk is the one who is bringing the big changes, one of the greatest engineers. He was just about 20 years old when in the college they taught him that how the rocket works. Then he suddenly decided, I want to make a rocket. I want to make such a rocket that I want to fly to Mars and stay there for 15 days and come back before I die. And then he left the college.
So how finally to tape some of India's...
God knows what is coming next.
He made a rocket now that he has a big rocket company. What is the name of the rocket company? SpaceX. And the SpaceX has a much, much bigger budget than the ISRO of India. One man's company. He's doing so many more things, but one company, one man's dream, one boy's dream has turned into a biggest company in this world. So like that, you can also see some beautiful dreams which you can really access. Elon Musk made something. There was one person called as Norman Orborg. Norman Orborg had what is called as motor nerve syndrome, in the sense that he was a boy who was 21 years old. When he was 21 years old, he lost his control of his motor nerves. When he lost his control of motor nerves means that means all his natural systems were working, respiratory system, digestive system, everything was working. But he could not do anything. He could not lift his hand, he could not lift his leg, he couldn't speak, he can't say anything, he can't even flap his eyelid, he couldn't do anything. That kind of a situation that man was there. Elon Musk made something called as a brain chip. Okay, they took out his skull, put the chip with about 256 connections in different part of the brain, and now and put back his skull. Now that man doesn't need help. Okay, he has been given about 500 commands, and he thinks about that commands, and that is connected to the IoT, Internet of Things. You know, we all do this, na? Alexa, put the fan on. Alexa, sing a song for me. Alexa, tell me a joke. Like that, 500 commands now they have given to this guy. And when he thinks about it, it happens. You understand? When only his thought process can be caught. Because, you know, between neurons and synapses, and the electrical signal going there, and they catch that signal, and they have understood what now able to understand thinking, okay, which I think is very, very exciting, right? This is called as the brain-computer interface. BCI is a beautiful field of research in the times which you can do it. Now, people are thinking, now this is about catching the ideas, thoughts by the computer. Get some water? Can I get some water, please? Okay. Yeah. So, it's only catching the thoughts into it. Now, can we put thoughts into the brain? Now, can we put thoughts into the brain? Okay, thank you very much. Elon Musk says 99% of our brain we are using for remembering things. Right?
My parents always told me, oh, you know, your grandfather worked with Einstein.
Bose moved to East Bengal in 1921 and became reader at the newly founded physics department.
When the machine can remember everything we see. So now he is trying to bring a chip which remembers everything you do and it's connected to the internet. So everything you do is remembered. And when you want it, you think about it, it comes back into your brain. The ideas come. It's so easy for exams, writing exams, right? We don't have to do anything. Because you go there and you see the question paper and it will give you the answer in your brain, you write the answer. Right? So these kind of things, thoughts are being done. And these are some beautiful fields of research. And even such small research, when you talk with brain, you need a mathematician, you need a physicist, you need a psychologist, you need a physiologist, a doctor, everybody. These are all multidisciplinary researchers which are bringing out this kind of technologies, right? So now they've also made spectacles called as iris vision. Iris vision is a spectacle. They've already achieved the first stage of it, where any person who was blind forever in his life, if he wears the spectacles and there is a small USB port in the back connected with the brain, and suddenly he can start seeing things. Now they are seeing things, people have started seeing things which they never saw. Right now it's very low resolution because there's only a 5 millimeter range where they have to put many, many electrodes. Now they are trying to put thousands of electrodes on that, making chip for that. Once they do that, they can see like us, even people who are completely blind. So look at that. Then Elon Musk has also come out with something called as Altimos, a robot. And the first version was already demonstrated. He says in the next 7-8 months he's going to release to the market. It is going to cost about 7 to 8 lakhs of rupees. That's what they say. Means like buying a car, you can buy a robot and take it home. When it goes to your house, it will do whatever you say. You want it to make tea, it will make tea. If you want to clean the floor, it will clean the floor. It will sing a song for you. It will teach physics for you. It will discuss philosophy with you. It can do everything. It can dance for you. Not only that, it can do anything. Right? You ask it to do it. Not only that, while it is doing that, it is also monitoring you. If you don't have the mood, it knows if it does what, you will get back the mood. So it does that to get your mood back. If you are sad, it will try to make you happy. I mean, all sorts of things it can do. And if you're not well, it will communicate to the people to tell that you are not well so that the doctors or something can come and address. These kind of Altimos robots are coming in the next few years. So, like this, I can go on telling so many stories which are happening in this world, right? There are hundreds. We can go on talking about this up to evening. But the question, last one I'll tell you, one amazing thing. This is a research paper written by Cordiero and Wood. Cordiero from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, probably the best engineering college in the world. And Wood is from Cambridge University, probably the best university in the world. Both of them have written a research paper, 2023 journal issue of Science. They have written an article, and they've also recently written a book, which is also available on Amazon. I'll just tell you. So before I tell you this, if you are having a seat belt, please wear it, because you will jump out of the seat when I tell you this. You know what is this? Okay, I don't want to tell you about the details of that. Okay, details of that, but just tell you the title. The title of the research paper and the book is the same, and the title is Death of Death by the year 2045. Please hear again. Death of Death by the year of 2045. Combination of nanotechnology, biotechnology, artificial intelligence. They say that now we can conquer death. And they claim that aging is not an inevitable thing. It is a disease. Aging is a disease. And if we can repair this disease, we can conquer death. Right? In fact, 2029, they are going to give the first evidence for that. Okay, first scientific proof for that. So which is just about 4 years from now. So imagine, okay, imagine 2045, 20 years from now, I may not be alive, but you know, you'll all be alive 20 years. So you can celebrate your 200th birthday, right? Maybe marry when you're 500 and have children when you're 800. What is the hurry? There is no hurry, right? So things will change. This can change everything. It can change the psychology, the physiology, I mean, everything about this world. Okay, the history, economics, sociology, commerce, everything will change if we start living for 200 years, 300 years, 400 years. You know, there is one reason I'll give you why they justify this, which is a beautiful reason, right? You know this shoelace, you have these shoelaces, okay? You want to tie it like this, because you want to tie it is made out of so many threads, okay? And so to hold the thread together, you have two plastic caps at the end of your shoelace, yeah? All have seen this plastic cap on the shoelace. Okay, that is there. And when we go on using the plastic caps, keeps breaking. And then our lace also becomes, it was very tight in the beginning, but it slowly becomes loose. One day the plastic caps break and the lace also breaks. Similarly, in the DNA, we have something called as telomeres. Telomeres are the one which hold the DNA double helix together. Right? Once you are using, I'm sure biology experts are there who may be able to tell you better on this. And as you age, it is called as the shortening of the telomere, which makes us old. Because, you know, that is how, once upon a time, I was also young like you. But now, because of my telomere, okay, I'm looking so ugly. Okay, very important you start saying that's what happens. And one day when the telomere breaks, the cell dies. So now we understand what is aging and death. So now people are thinking, how do we conquer this? How do we conquer aging and death? Start imagining how beautiful or how different this world is going to become in the next 10, 15 years. So friends, very, very important, please understand, you are entering into a very beautiful world of new science, new technology, and new engineering. Right? Now you have to start thinking, which is the field I want to work in? Do I want to become a scientist or a technologist and engineer? You know what we did, as I said, what we have done in the 17th to 19th century or early 20th century, we did some fantastic science. There was beautiful science where we got the theory of relativity, where we get quantum mechanics, where we got Euler's equations. You get everything there, right, during that time. And later, in the last 100 years, we have been converting that into technology. So we were very, very busy converting all that knowledge into technology, and that's how the world has grown in engineering and technology. But now, I think we are almost running out of science, because we are making all the products which are possible. So now, I think basic science will also become very important in the coming future, because we need to build more science so that more technology and more useful things can happen in this world. So becoming a scientist, right now becoming an engineer or a doctor is very fashionable. But I'm very sure in the next 10, 15 years, becoming a scientist will become more important, because they are going to play the lead role, because without the science, you can't build engineering and technology. Right? So now people were giving donations and a lot of money to go to engineering colleges. But I'm sure in the next 10, 15 years, people will give a lot of money to become scientists, to do basic sciences. So there are a lot of amazing people who do basic science, but they are not recognized, they are forgotten. But it doesn't matter, because they don't work because of fame or money. They do it because of their own curiosity, as I said. Right? Very important. So now I will ask you one question. Now tell me that who is a doctor? Is he a scientist, technologist, or an engineer? Now you should be able to make the distinction. Or he or she doesn't belong to any of these three. Doctor is a scientist or a technologist or an engineer. Anybody would like to stand up and try to answer? Any answer, it doesn't matter whether you tell the right answer or wrong answer. Who is a doctor? Sorry? No, it is only one of them. Which one? No. Science is done by scientists. The doctor you go to, selfless. No, I asked among the three. Doctors belong to one of the three, a scientist or a technologist or an engineer. No, the technology he uses, doctors use technology. So he is a body engineer, body mechanic, right? So doctor is an engineer, right? The doctors we go to. There are scientists in the doctor's field who are doing science, biology. Okay, they are the scientists who do biology, right? Then you have technologists who convert it into useful methods, okay, like surgery or anything of that sort. But ultimately, people who do all this are engineers, right? Not combination. No, they're not combination. They're only engineers, right? Because they use the technology and the science done by somebody else, right? So that's why they are only body engineers, right? Okay, thank you very much. Good attempt. Yeah, start thinking. These are very, very important for you. So in the next 5 minutes, do I have 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or I am already running late? Okay, I'll take just 5 minutes. Yeah, please. So now the question is, what do you do? Right? This is a situation, wonderful that you will be a part of this growth, etc. So I'll just tell you a story, a small story, which probably you all know, but I'll repeat it. There was a cap seller. There's a cap seller. He had 100 caps. He was taking from one place to the other. And then it was very hot that day. He slept under a tree. Okay, and when he got up, he saw only one cap on his head and the rest of the caps missing. And so he was very scared because he had no knowledge. When you don't have knowledge, you fear. You become scared. He had no knowledge where his caps went. And so he was looking like that. And then Ayachit sir was going there in front. And he asked Ayachit sir, where are my caps? And being an intelligent man, he said that, hey, look upstairs, man. Look up there. Here. Why are you asking me? Look up there. So he looked up, and there were 99 monkeys wearing the caps, his caps. And so he was more scared now, because now how to get them back? How to get them back? So now he said, he again asked sir, sir, the monkeys have taken the monkey cap. How will I get it? So Ayachit sir said, think, man. Like he was asking you, think. So he said, hey, think. How will you get the cap back? So that fellow says, sir, I've done my PUC, BE, ME, PhD, everything I've done, sir, but nobody taught me how to think. They only asked me to remember things for the examinations, right? So, but Ayachit sir says, now start thinking from today. So he starts thinking, oh, I'm a man, they're a monkey, man, monkey, they will imitate what I do, right? He came to idea, imitate what I do. So what he did was, he waved his hand like this. How did he wave his hand? Yeah, how did he wave his hand? Come on, you have to show. Yeah, he waved his hand like, very good, very good. And the monkeys also waved their hand like you, all of you, right? The monkeys also waved their hand. And then he said, ha, 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 ha. How did he say? Come on, you should enjoy, right? Yeah, wonderful. Louder, ha, ha, ha. Come on, boys. Yeah, no? You don't want to be monkeys? Very nice. Okay, so then what he did, he took his cap up and down, And the monkeys also took the cap up and down. Then he threw the cap down. And the monkeys all threw the cap down. He collected the cap and thanked Ayachit sir and went ahead. You know this story, no? All of you know this story? Okay, now we'll continue this story. Okay, and then this cap seller's grandfather also becomes a cap seller. I mean, the grandson also becomes a cap seller. The grandson also comes with 100 caps. Okay, he also sleeps under a tree. And when he gets up, only one cap on his head, rest of the cap missing, and Ayachit sir is also not there. So he doesn't know, but he has no problem. He's not scared, because his grandfather had told him the story. Right? So this fellow knew what to do. So what he did was, he directly looked up, smilingly he looked up, and he saw 99 monkeys wearing the caps. Right? Then again he was not scared, because he knew how to get it back. Right? So what he did was, he did like this, and all the monkeys also did like this. Then he said, ha, ha, ha. The monkeys also said, ha, ha, ha. Then he took this cap up and down. The monkeys also took the cap up and down. He threw the cap down. Then monkeys all together said, we also had a grandfather. Right? We also had a grandfather. Just like your grandfather told you, we also had the knowledge. So they did not throw the cap. So this is going to happen in the future, my friends. What your grandfather says will not work. Okay? What your father said will not work. What your teachers say will also not work. What you have to learn everything on your own. Okay, that self-learning will become the future because you will learn what you want to do. Now the idea in the future of education is not going to be general education. It is going to be specified, personalized education. That means you have to decide what you want to do in life. So start thinking about this and become wonderful. So to do this, there are three things when you're education. They're called as 3H, connecting the head, the heart, and the hand. The 3H, the head, the heart, and the hand. When you know something, you should feel it. Very important to feel what you know. Unless you feel it, you can't do anything with your hands. So the idea of teachers and students, a partnership which goes together, is to make us feel the knowledge we are doing. And once we feel the knowledge, then students on their own will find ways to implement it and do something very beautiful, which I and you could not imagine. They'll come with some very creative things. So feeling knowledge is more important than knowing knowledge. I think that will be the future of education. Thank you all for your patient listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was an enthusiastic and lively session. So, students, please note, now let's have a short tea break. Please note that the tea is arranged at the food court in front of library. And I request everyone to assemble back after 10 minutes. So, see you after the break. Please assemble back after 10 minutes.